blowing a 3-1 lead, kids, let me tell you something about that. There's been a couple instances in Toronto. One, they blow it to Montreal. And game 5, the first period was a little bit like the game 5 Montreal had against Toronto, just not nearly as successful. Montreal scored 3 goals, but they showed up and blew the Leafs out of the water that first period. Game 5 was kind of like that, and then game 6 was a repeat. But you lose game 5, even though you crawled back. The Leafs erased a 3-0 deficit in that game and blew it a minute into overtime.
Talk about Montreal.
Yeah, talk about Montreal. Now, oh man, we better win in game 6 because otherwise it's game 7. The Raptors winning their championship. They blew game 5, and we all thought the same thing. If they don't win in 6, they're not winning in 7. Every single person in the city thought that. If they don't win in 5 or in 6, they're not winning in 7. They barely pull it off. Thank goodness for Kawhi Leonard hitting those free throws.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a war of attrition physically, but the mental battle, Boston's going through it right now. And if the Bruins were to pull this off and win in game 7, I wouldn't put anything past them just because of how much of an anvil this team is carrying around with them.
We can relate.
We can relate. How many series should the Leafs have won in recent years? They should have beat the Bruins in 2019.
Probably should have been in 18 too. They were up.
They were up. Yeah. They had a better
Going to
game
the third.
7 in 2018, which isn't saying much. The Leafs should have won. I mean, definitely the Montreal one. They should have won a bunch of series, but
There's no way Columbus should have been in the series either.
oh, for God's sake.
Yeah.
They just kept beating themselves. And the Bruins are coming up against a really determined Leaf team, but they're beating themselves a little bit. This game 7 is going to be fascinating.
I know you don't see the intermission panels, but what struck me is when Kevin and Elliot specifically were talking about, the Leafs have been good, but like Bruins have been bad. And I think
isn't that the first 4 games, but in reverse?
Yeah, I guess so. Isn't it funny when one team plays better than the other, how bad the other team looks?
Man, how many times this series have you looked at one of the teams and gone, they look great? Like none.
Mm-hmm.
The Bruins didn't go up 3-1 because they were just crazily outmatching and dominating. The Leafs just kept making boneheaded mistakes.
And didn't have the best. I have to be honest, Sammy wasn't on his game.
They weren't getting saves. They also weren't scoring on the power play. So maybe the best thing about the series through 4 games is the Bruins penalty kill.
Yeah. See, here's what I want tomorrow, guys. Here's what I want.
Game 7, Leaf win.
Here's my preview for game 7. Leafs win 9-0. That's what I would like. I think, by the way, as a Leaf fan, that's what you deserve. You have white-knuckled it for almost a decade with these guys, and I think you deserve a power play fiesta. Boston takes 2 power plays, you get a couple goals, maybe one of them's a double minor, you get 3. Okay? Oh, the power play is great. And then you get a couple other ones throughout, 5-6-0. Crowds out of it. They're hopefully like the Leafs fans booed the Leafs off the ice a couple games this series. Maybe we get
4.
that. Yeah, like an intermission, and then you just get them down and you keep pushing. I'd like a 9-0 win. Is that too much to ask?
Adam, what have I been saying about the Leafs for the past 2 games? They have nothing to lose. They're already dead. They're in zombie mode. And for the last couple games, the Bruins have been playing like that character who's trying to hide the fact that they've been bit. It's the best.
Jesse, what's your game 7 preview? What do you think's going to happen?
Tight game, I think, again. I don't think you get really blowouts.
You don't get 9-0?
No,
3-2 max.
Yeah, I hope they score more than 3 goals for the first time in forever. Like, that would be very nice. Do we know if Matthews, what's the forecast on
all they said today at morning skate was that he did skate and that there has been progress made, but there is no update on availability.
How do you go about changing the lineup with if Matthews can play? Because I have a hard time just inserting him back when you're just on a run.
You know what I do?
2 straight games.
I put him on. This sounds ridiculous. I keep the Domi Marner Bertuzzi.
I agree.
I put Matthews between Nyes and Nylander.
Wrong.
And I put Tavares down to the third line.
I thought about that, Adam.
Okay,
Tell me
why I'm wrong. That's fine.
Here's Tavares, Nylander, Nyes is playing really well.
Okay.
Leave it.
So put Matthews between...
Wait.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Domi, Bertuzzi, Marner. Bad?
Good numbers.
Leave it. Kampf with Dewar and Yarncroke. Good. Leave it. You now have a choice between Holmberg can do center or left wing. Robertson can do left or right wing. Gregor can do left or right wing. You take one of those guys out. I earnestly don't give a shit which one. Take one of those guys out, put Matthews in the middle of that line.
Do you think Austin, first off, you could limit his minutes based on that, which is good.
This is what I'm saying. If Matthews
can't play
does
25 minutes.
If he plays game 7, Adam, I think you'd be so lucky to even get 15 out of him. I honestly think unless the Leafs get a bunch of power plays, or not.
Then don't play him.
Well,
you know what, Jesse?
They're
You might have
hockey
a
players and they're friggin' stupid.
Yeah.
I think the whole reason he's out right now is because somebody had to tell him no.
Yeah,
I think
yes.
if it was up to Austin, he would still be out there, and he probably wouldn't have told anybody what he's going through if the doctors didn't go into him and have to pull him out of the game.
Well, I imagine he was left with no choice.
Exactly.
If he's medically cleared, I think you put him third line. You take out Robertson or Holmberg or Gregor, whoever.
And who do you have as wingers?
So you put Matthews in the middle of either Holmberg, Gregor, Holmberg, Robertson, Holmberg.
See, if that's what you're going with, I'd rather not do that.
You know what's crazy, Jesse?
Matthews, Holmberg, Gregor.
I kind of like Matt. Holmberg played good with Matthews actually earlier this year.
He did briefly
Matthews
for like a week.
Has played with Gregor and with Holmberg.
I didn't
Robertson,
like with him, but
they've connected in overtimes and stuff, but they've barely ever played together 5-on-5. I think it might be Matthews between Holmberg and Gregor.
you can't. The one thing I'll say to that crazy theory is you can't line match it. Because
what do you mean?
Well,
if you're Boston,
if you're Boston, because you saw Jim Montgomery go switch it up on the bench because he's trying to align players properly with each other. If you're the Leafs, you just roll the lines at that point because you don't have the home ice.
You're on the road.
You're on the road, so you just and it's like, well, they've got two lines really that they want to align with the other. What about the other line? Whatever line they decide to shut down, you got a third line of. So, I mean, listen, it's very EA Sports NHL 24 of you, and I like it. I like it a lot. I'm all the way on board. Will they do it?
Probably not.
I think TJ Brody's more likely to play than the Leafs are to do that. And TJ Brody's not playing. But
God, I hope not.
But I do want to say that I respect the creativity. And
what about Dewar?
Nah.
Dewar, Matthews, Gregor.
Oh, I thought you meant taking him out.
No. Dewar's Matthews, Gregor.
No.
Why not?
Because you leave that fourth line together. Or that fourth line.
But the third line you can mess with.
It's not the third line. This is the...
Make the Matthews line the fourth line just for fun.
The junk drawer.
Sure.
The junk drawer has useful things in it.
Sure.
But it's also where you just put everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where to put this, so I'm going to put it here.
Mm-hmm.
You can't look at that line and be like, yeah, that's a line with a purpose.
Yeah.
It's Gregor, Holmberg, Robertson. What's the identity of that line other than just hustling? They hustle. That's what they do. Like one of them's a little goal
leave
scorer.
that one.
Yeah, but Jesse,
and put Matthews with the Dewar.
Nah. No, but then you take away Dewar's purpose, which is shut down.
Okay. Take out Dewar. Conf on the wing.
Okay. All right.
Conf, Matthews, Yarncroke.
Hey, sorry, that's Conf with like what, a 92 expected goal?
Yeah.
Game? Like, put him with Matthews, the offensive dynamo.
You know, like
Conf.
No.
Conf, Matthews, Yarncroke doesn't work to you?
Because Conf was so good, you leave him in the middle, Matthews on the wing. You know,
if Matthews can't play, if you're like, oh, Matthews is injured and all that, put him on the wing.
Honestly,
I honestly don't hate that.
Yeah.
In Dewar's spot on the fourth line. Play him 12 minutes.
There's wisdom to that.
There is wisdom to that.
Do it.
If I know we're going to sound absolutely insane to some people, but this is game 7. It's different. If he's cleared very obviously with the asterisk that it's game 7. Right? If this was a regular season game, we probably don't see him for another month, honestly.
Yeah.
Not knowing what the injury is. If this is game 1, we probably don't see him. It's not. It's game 7.
I think about, like, we're joking a lot, but I think about how Stamkos came back, played a shift, scored a goal in the playoffs in the bubble playoffs.
And
for
then
Tampa.
what?
What do you mean?
They won the cup.
Yes, but he bounced. He played 3 shifts.
Yeah, but what did he do? He scored
Which
a goal.
is nuts.
And I think about how like what goes into just playing that, the amount it took to his body just to get out there for those 3 shifts, and then he had to bail.
Yep.
If Matthews is capable, they're gonna have him out there.
Yes, and I think I'm right about the line that he's going to be on. If
The
he's
third, yeah.
capable of playing, there's no chance he plays 20 minutes on the first line. No chance.
those first 2 lines were really good.
They were really good,
Don't mess
and so
about
was
it.
the fourth.
The 4th line was great. That's why Matthews should be there
And
in doer spot and Conf on the wing.
I'm not gonna get too fussy about which one of those 3 guys comes off, because in their place returns Austin Matthews, and I think we're cool.
Right.
So,
Bobby McMahon was supposed to come back this series, by the way.
yeah, that's true.
Kind of, but like
They said game 7 or
They-
6 earliest.
but
They
were,
said 5 or 6.
they were always just hopeful.
Yeah.
It was never like we knew.
Yeah.
You
And by the way,
lock in injury returns.
He would be a factor if he did come back.
Oh my God.
He would be.